You're probably wondering how you can maximize your damage in Once Human. Well, there are a whole lot of different ways how you can achieve this. Craft higher tier weapons unlocked later game, calibrate it to further increase its stats, even replace them with much better modifiers, but on top of that, you can further upgrade your weapon blueprints. Well guys, it's your man 4am again with another Once Human guide, in which I'm gonna explain everything you need to know to efficiently upgrade your gear when leveling, but also maximize the damage output for both PvE and PvP in the endgame. So without further ado, let's get right to it. I can't stress this out enough, the last chapter in this video is very important. You want to check this one out before you even consider crafting and upgrading, recalibrating your gear, as trust me, you can lose a ton of precious resources in the process. Alright, so first off, we have the gear workbench. This is where you can craft your weapons and armor in the different tabs. The first thing, very important, you want to focus on is the tier you can craft. As you can see, each tier we go up, you can see that the damage will also increase. So the higher the tier item you craft, the more damage it will deal. Same counts for pieces of armor. While it's very important to know that these also come with different requirements. Crafting materials for tier 1, for example, are going to be shabby fabric, waste plastic, and adhesive. While if we check out the tier 2, we're going to need a whole lot of different ones. For tier 1 resources, you want to primarily focus on farming in the Dayton wetlands, the first zone. After that, tier 2, you're going to move to the Broken Delta. Then tier 3, Iron River, tier 4, Chalk Peak, and finally for tier 5, you're going to check out both the Red Sands and Blackheart regions. For example, if you want to craft this sniper rifle on tier 1, a barrel will cost us copper ingots found in the first zone, while for a tier 5, the exact same thing or component will cost tungsten ingots, exclusively found in the final zones. You might be thinking, but how do I get my hands on these legendary blueprints? Well, if you check out the blueprints tab and hover over one, you can see that they are usually obtained from the wish machine. Wish machine gambling is going to cost you a ton of Starchrom, which you can do to upgrade your blueprints. We're going to talk more about that in a second, but most importantly, especially early game, you want to focus on purchasing one specific blueprint, which is already going to cost you a whole lot of Starchrom. I decided to go with the AWS sniper rifle right here, already 8,000. Well, if you want to focus on an AR build, you can, for example, purchase the Soaker or CAM SMGs. You also have these for 8,000 each. Anyways, once you've secured a specific blueprint, what you can do is craft said weapon forever. And the nice thing is, when you switch or merge to a new server, you basically keep all these weapon and armor blueprints, so you never ever have to unlock them again. Be sure to always craft the highest tier possible, which can be done with a better workbench. For this, you want to check out the Memetics tab, crafting, and upgrade your gear workbench, so you have the absolute best one, advanced, to access tier 5 weapons and armor. Next up, this is something I see a lot of people do wrong, is weapon and armor calibration. I mean, if you do this too early or too frequent, well, you're gonna lose a ton of precious resources, especially the Stardust source, and it's gonna be a true pain to maximize your gear when you reach level 50. So be sure to not mess up right here. Let me quickly explain what you should do to make this as efficient as possible. So if you start unlocking higher tier weapons and armor during your adventures, what you should do is always craft those, but never use calibration, because it can cost you a lot of resources. You know what? In the mid game, let's craft this pistol G17 as example. What you can do is calibrate with exclusively the steel ingots as material consumption. If you do this a couple times, you will increase the damage output of your weapon, but after some point, it will also start costing Stardust source, which is the point where you have to stop calibrating. Even on higher levels, you don't want to do this, only if you really struggle with the enemies. The tier 5 gear are the best weapons and armor in the game, so now you should start calibrating, while at the same time, I want to warn you that this might not be the best case for you. Anyways, the more you calibrate, the more bonuses you can also unlock on your weapon. Not only does it increase its base damage, but also at a certain point you will start unlocking calibration attributes. Look at that. On level 4 right here, I get a range plus 12 and accuracy plus 6. On level 7, it will also get a 6% bonus to weak spot damage, and on the maximum, it will be a plus 4% crit rate. While all this can be extremely expensive, if we have a look at my offhand weapon, the Wildfire, you can see that this one is only level 5. This is because I'm still searching for a better variant of this weapon, because even more interesting, after you've basically calibrated your weapon, you can also replace its attributes. This is where your weapon can become a whole lot more powerful. So normally it comes with this stupid stability and range, weak spot damage and crit rate. But maybe these stats are not great for your specific build or playstyle. So what you can do is replace these attributes with a blueprint you've basically extracted from another weapon. This can be done at the disassembly bench. If you destroy it, it will give you a blueprint with these exact stats you can use in the calibration menu. Anyways, this one, for example, comes with 2 times weak spot damage, which is a pretty interesting roll, while at the same time, rapid shot style is the one most people like to have. If we quickly have a look at my AWS Bingo sniper rifle, my main weapon, I think the attributes are amazing. It comes with rapid shot style, so super fast shooting speed, but also double weak spot damage, which is what I focus on with my build. If we look at it in our gear menu, you can also see that these stat rolls are pretty high. So the blue weak spot damage is 6.3%, and the rolls can be between 4.8 to 7.2. So that's near the end. The secondary one, even better, maximum 10.8, and we got 9.4%. So it's very important you disassemble or salvage all the weapons you find during your adventures, especially the legendary ones, which usually come with the best stat rolls. So save these for when you unlock that legendary weapon blueprint, craft it on the highest tier, calibrate it to level 10, and then replace the attributes to basically get the best stat rolls possible for your specific build. So now that we've talked about crafting gear, upgrading it, calibrating and recalibrating to get the absolute maximum stat rolls, it's time to revisit the blueprint menu. As you've probably noticed that each blueprint also comes with these stars on the side, and these are not to be messed with. I mean, higher level blueprints can actually increase your damage big time. And this is something you want to do before you start doing all the crafting and upgrading. Especially with some strategy, you can make this pretty easy actually, because again, blueprints are extremely expensive. With a little bit of luck, you can even get them from the wish machine. I currently have 15,000 Starchrom, which is a pretty nice amount. But for example, if we look at my AWS Bingo right here, it's tier 5, but only level 1. We didn't upgrade this one just yet. You know what? Let's take the Northern Pike blueprint as example. A pretty interesting fish weapon, but if you right click the socket right here, what we can do is add new blueprint parts to it to increase its level. On level 1, it's going to be dealing 979 damage. If we upgrade it, that's 1059. And every time we do this, well, that simply makes this weapon more powerful. This is something you want to do before you start crafting any of the items. Get as many of those blueprint parts as possible, because each upgrade equals to like 5% damage increase. On level 4, that's plus 20% damage on this weapon. Especially with legendary blueprints, these are extremely difficult to upgrade with those lower quality ones. You can see that we're only getting 10% of the required XP. With a pretty neat wish machine trick though, I did manage to upgrade my jaws to level 3 in the previous season. So let me quickly show you how you can do this. So if you purchase a blueprint from the shop, it will be owned. You can no longer purchase another one or get additional blueprints. However, if we make a wish with the machine and check out the different scenarios, right here we can get fragments and also a full blueprint of the Jaws pistol. Same counts for the purple sniper. This one comes with shaman stuff. Then also for the sniper rifle, we can get more blueprints and also the wildfire pistol. So we simply want to do a little bit of gambling, and the ultimate reward will be set weapon. You can also find blueprints for it, but as you can see, we are already on 19 out of 20 for this pool. So even if you're unlucky, in the end, you will 100% chance get your hands on this weapon blueprint. So right now, if we play, smack one of these little fellas, well, there we go, we get a Jaws blueprint fragment. After we filled the bar, unfortunately, we are not allowed to continue gambling. But now, if I go to the Blueprints tab and check out the Jaws, we should be able to add another one to it. You know what? Also throw in this one right here. That will bring it close to being level 4. Since the AWS Bullseye is my main weapon, let's do a little bit of gambling for this reward. Both the blueprint and some fragments. So most of the times you're gonna get some trash, but oh, let's go! That's the AWS sniper rifle right off the bat. So if we go and check out the blueprints right now, sniper rifle, AWS bingo, we've got 80 fragments. Check it out. We can upgrade this weapon to level 3. GG. So guys, before you make the same mistake as I did with the previous season, these are both tier 5, but only level 1. You first want to upgrade those blueprints. I mean, right now I already have a level 4 wildfire of tier 5, and my bingo is getting close to level 4 as well. That is 10% damage increment on the sniper and 15 on the pistol. There are a couple more ways how you can dramatically increase your damage output in Once Human. I don't see many people use them though. For example, my butterfly. It's a legendary or shiny butterfly with a skill rating of 3-2, but especially with the weak spot master Glistering Blue, this one will further increase the weak spot damage on my enemies. If you want to know how to efficiently farm for these specific deviants, be sure to check out my guide in the top right of the screen. But there are more deviants which can further boost your damage. Then we also have the kitchen set or stove, where you can make all sorts of dishes. This will make enemies vulnerable, increase the damage to them. We also have canned meat, really depends on what you want to have for your build, but this one increases your character's shrapnel damage. If we scroll down a little bit, there are plenty more dishes. For example, the canned seafood in oil. If you throw a different type of fish in here, for example, the angel fish, it will slightly increase your critical strike damage. Alright, so guys, there you have it. Everything you need to know to maximize your damage in Once Human by upgrading your weapon with calibrations, recalibrations, and especially those blueprints. If you enjoyed the content, a like would be very much appreciated. If you have more tips for the community, leave them in the comments down below. Questions and video suggestions are very welcome right there as well. Right now though, it's 4 AM out. I want to wish you an amazing day. I'll check you in the next video or live stream. Peace.